Welcome to the first episode of the Book Report featuring Moose.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What is happening, man? It's been a long time since I have been on this microphone.
Since today's the first show, I don't know what you mean by a long time. Book Report's the first episode.
It's the first episode, but I ain't talked to you in a minute on the microphone. How you doing today?
Good, but we talk on the phone. Essentially, we're on the microphone. We're talking on the phone.
Yeah,
we're being a butthole right now. I apologize.
That's cool. I'm good, man.
It's the Book Report, man.
It's the Book Report, and
I'm excited.
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. We're gonna have many episodes of the Book Report,
man. Go blue.
But tonight is hype because we here tonight. We're gonna preview the championship of the NCAA Final Two. Then they say there were two.
All in, baby.
Two.
All in.
The Amazing Blue and the Wildcats of Villanova.
You know, real quick, I know I just got a question. So, let me just put it right out there up front. But I am a Michigan fan through and through. Like, if you cut me, it would come out amazing.
You got your outfit on ready today. You got the jersey,
dude.
You got your jersey. You ready? You got your hat on backwards. You ready? So. All you need is what you're gonna be eating when you're watching the game tonight.
And by the way, I meet the porterhouse before, but then I'm going to have to stand up and watch the game because I will get sleepy with that food in my belly like that.
Oh, I think you're not going to sleep. This game's going to be exciting. It's going to be up and down. It's not going to be a pitter-patter type game.
All right, well, tell me what you're talking about now.
We're going to break down tonight's game with the Wildcats and the Amazing Blue. We're going to talk about the game leading up to this game, how they both got here. The Saturday semifinal game, we're going to do Villanova. We're going to save Michigan here in a second. Villanova steamrolled, came out firing against Kansas on Saturday. So, did you expect them to set the record for threes?
No, of course not.
18 threes. They blew out UNLV's record of 13.
That's why I know they're not going to do it tonight. There's no way they can recapture that night.
Well, you would think the percentages are not going to happen that they're going to do it 2 times in a row. But don't say that because you didn't think we're real brief ahead getting off this topic when Notre Dame, the women, Enrique Umugale, how we pronounce her last name, she not only hit one, but she hit 2 buzzer beaters. One against UConn, and then the final one against Mississippi State. So, I'm just saying, Villanova could come out and pick up where they left off on 18 threes. But I don't see that happening either because the law averages is not going to happen with the University of Michigan. The Wolverines will be in the house, and they know they got to definitely do a defense attention to detail. They got to definitely get their defense assignments, and they will get them assignments. I'm predicting this will be a great game, but also Michigan will pay attention to the 3-point line.
I'll tell you right now. Michigan's defense is so hyper, so has so much energy that they're not going to be as open as they were against Kansas. Kansas was flat. They got big. What's his name? The big center. He cannot help on the outside. That's why I think Villanova matches up better with Michigan because they're more mobile. But they got a big guy in there too that he's not going to have the same feet. Well, Azubuike, remember the big
Azubuike from Kansas, right?
Yeah, see, he's a big guy. I just feel like that Villanova matches up a little better with them.
And Wagner is going to bring Villanova away from the basket.
The big man, yeah. Didn't I read somewhere where he was 300 pounds at one point too?
Yeah, then he trimmed down. So, but going back to Villanova is very, very good. They're very, very tough, and they're very well schooled, and they've been here before. This is their second. They've been in the final second of the last 3 years, 2 in the last 3 years. They came in 16 when they beat my team, the Tar Heels, on the last second shot. Then they missed out last year, so they're back again. So Jay Wright got these guys right back into the championship round. So Villanova's experience of them being here before is key. Michigan's last appearance was in 2013, but again, you got 2 experienced coaches, but I think, like I said, that's why it's going to be a good game. But Villanova, they have a lot of weapons. Michigan has to stop Brunson, who's the AP Player of the Year. They got to stop Mikal Bridges. They got to make sure Spillman don't get off. So those are 3 key assignments Michigan has to contain over 40 minutes. That's just what's going to have to be done.
No sweat.
And so he said no sweat. And then they got, DiVincenzo coming off the bench. So I've just named 4 key components for Villanova that is very strong. They played in the Big East.
Are you a judge or something?
No.
What's he getting to tell you one?
I'm just hyped up about this game because we got the number 1 seed and the number 3 seed. So we're gonna have beautiful basketball tonight. So,
folks, real quick, you're listening to the Book Report featuring Moose, man.
Featuring Moose,
and this is on Independent Radio, home of the Heavy Hitters Radio Show, man. Also, Iron 3 Hip Hop Show, Indy 15 Music Session, Men's Lives Matter. There's one other one I'm missing, so I'll think about it in a second. Hey, folks, check us out on all the podcasting sites, even this show. This show will be on YouTube. It'll be on
Stitcher.
It'll be on Stitcher Radio. It'll be on Apple Podcasts. Yes. We need Jeezy here to say Apple iPodcast. I forget what he says, but he messes it up.
But I do pay attention, as you can tell, even though I have not been in the fold for a long time.
Sure, man. You're a neighbor of the Heavy Hitters for sure. So shout out to all our listeners, man. Enjoy the show.
So going back now, the key thing for Villanova is to continue what they've been doing. And they've won all their 5 games by double digits. I don't think that's going to happen tonight, but Villanova has been really, really, they're a good team, and they definitely pay attention to detail, and they don't beat themselves. Michigan's going to have to earn this championship because Villanova is not going to beat themselves.
All right, so hold on a second. When you said they won by double digits, so they beat Radford in the first round. They had Alabama in the second round, West Virginia in the third round, in the Sweet 16. In the Elite 8?
Elite 8.
In the Elite 8, they had Texas Tech. Then they had Kansas in the Final Four. That's outside of Radford. Those other teams are relatively
tough. They went to 3 Big 12 opponents to get to where they are tonight.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, though the Big 12 is not a slouch conference, but again, in order to beat Villanova, you cannot. Villanova's not going to beat themselves, okay? Because they're well coached and they're well schooled and everything.
Are your hands full?
No, my hands are not full. I'm fine.
It sounds like you got a bunch of Villanova nuts in them. When you gonna start talking about Michigan?
I'm going to transfer over to Michigan. Now, this is the key for the Michigan Wolverines. Did you know the Michigan has the longest win streak coming into this game in the country? They've won 14 straight.
Yes, sir.
14 in a row. Yes, they haven't lost since February the 2nd.
That's right. It was right before
2 months.
Tournament.
So, I'm just telling you.
And by the way, we lost to, who was that, Purdue? And it should have been, matter of fact, they
could have been, should have been, whatever.
Could have
been, but the point of the matter is, Michigan's won 14 straight. So Villanova has to understand that because Michigan has gotten a lot better on the end that I like a lot in sports. Michigan has gotten better on the defensive end. That's where you're going to win championships. Offense wins games, defense wins titles. So I'm sure Beeline will have that up on his chalkboard tonight. Hey, no rebounds, no rings. Pay attention to detail. And I know Michigan will pay attention to detail because I don't think myself that Villanova is going to keep shooting the way they're shooting. And the three guys that Villanova has to worry about is Wagner. Has to worry about Abdul Rahman. Has got to worry about Xavier Simpson is the X factor for the Wolverines. He's got to have a really, really good game.
And you know what? You're not even naming Matthews.
Well, Matthews, the athletic guy.
He's so athletic.
He's athletic. Look, I got them all down, and you got if Duncan Robinson may get hot. Like I said, you got a lot of pieces. So both teams have weapons, but Michigan can also shoot the three, as evident of their game when they played Purdue. Because I think that's going to be the type of game you're going to see tonight when Michigan played Purdue. That was like 98-88, 92-88 or something like that. That's the type of game you're going to see. But in the last 3 or 4 minutes, I guarantee you, defense is going to win this game But Michigan cannot let Villanova get off to a blitz start, a quick start.
Well,
no
I
20.
think, and I think also part of that too, man, is Michigan shoots free throws horribly. If it's not Duncan Robinson or Muhammad Ali, then they're really struggling.
And in this tournament, as any tournament, it's all about guard play. So Michigan's guards did not play very well against Loyola. So I expect Michigan guards to come back and have a better game tonight because it's dribble drive, is paying attention to detail, is kicking out, is Abdul Rahman's going to find his stroke, find his shot. They did not play very well at all during against Loyola. The last few minutes of the game they played well, but it was already decided because Mo Wagner had a monster game, 20 and 15. He had he was in rarefied air.
Did I see somewhere where only
Larry Bird and Akeem?
Those
I got it, man. Larry Bird and Akeem. So he's in rarefied air. As somebody said that I heard, Mo Wagner has made him some money. He's either going to be a late first round or early second round pick. He's going to make him some money, and he is like the modern five where he can stretch the floor and pull the big centers out from under the basket.
Did you see him going down low though? He was snatching rebounds.
That's on the 15 boards. Exactly. Yeah. He can do some stuff off the dribble where he took the guy off the dribble and dunked on him. and just had a scowl. Looked at I'm here.
Sticking that tongue out.
Right. That's
German tongue.
And
all the ladies
he's the Jordan of the German league.
I love him.
Right. So
how do they sound though?
And Mama,
we love him.
Right. We love him.
With the voice that's deep as mine. We love Mo Wagner.
More
Wagner. Maurice Wagner. We love him.
And he's going to show out.
My name is Susan.
He's going to show out because his parents came all the way from Germany to watch him.
You got to.
So he's going to show out. So we're looking at both matchups.
I got a question. Did you like my impersonation?
Love the German accent.
German woman, man.
Yeah.
My name is Susan. German names, I'm just kidding if y'all listening.
Yeah,
some of y'all are real pretty.
But Michigan, it's going to be a good game. Now you're going to see some chess matches between the coaches, Jay Wright and Beeline. Beeline, if you watch Michigan, because Beeline came from West Virginia and all that stuff, Michigan does a lot of backdoor cuts. As you can see, they move very well without the ball.
What I enjoy as kind of back talking about what you said about moving off the ball, man. I like the double high screen, and then they roll. They keep rolling players through until the one guy's open and he stops and pops.
Or they do a good pick and roll where they dive to the basket. Mm-hmm. So when you watch the game tonight, listeners out there, don't watch the ball itself. Watch how people are moving without the ball. Watch that. Okay. See how
Why you get so passionate?
See how they get up because I am.
Watch how they watch the ball.
Watch it. Just watch it, man.
Folks, I'm talking about sports.
You gonna see how Michigan gets open, how they move without the ball. How it's really
pretty. Gonna do it like one of those old time preachers. Watch how Michigan
and go. That was an Easter Sunday sermon. And the Lord said you gotta rise. And all that stuff.
Yeah. So, now imagine if you was watching the game and how they have team cast. So the guys, the Michigan fans doing the Michigan team cast and the Villanova. Imagine if you had preacher cast or something. And he's watching the game the dude said it sounds something like this. There, folks. I'm glad y'all here. I am so glad y'all here. We about to tip off today in the absolutely beautiful
Alamo Dome.
In the beautiful Alamo Dome.
And then that spirit will be moving because they'll make so that the spirit will move.
Speaking of the spirit, they about to throw the ball up right now. They about to tip that ball. The men's all dressed and the shirts are tucked in, and my Lord, they are ready to go. And the tip. And Michigan's got the ball to 3-point line. And Mo Wagner shoots that ball. And he missed it. And Villanova got the rebound. And taking the length of the court. And now he's taking that shot, and he won't be stopped. Ooh, yeah, he won't be stopped.
You listen to the book report featuring Moose. Hey, you were listening to the book report featuring featuring Moose. He's getting all
And then he
into it.
sweat. No wonder they always carry them towels with them. Like I instantly, this
Some
is my
sweat
right
towels,
arm
some
is
sweat
sweating.
towels.
Oh, no. All right, my bad.
I'm going to ask you a question.
I can't stop doing
Give
it.
me an X factor for the Wolverines tonight. Who has to come up big besides Mo Wagner?
Well, our bench is going to be the one that's important. I mean, Beeline goes about 11 deep sometime. If you notice, we had a backup point guard playing. We got Liver sometime that starts, sometime he doesn't. We go with
How about Poole?
Pelski. We go with Poole. Teskey. We go with Teskey backing up Wagner, but he's a different type of center. Still thin and can stretch the floor, but he doesn't shoot as much. He's more blocking shots and just being a kind of an energy man. And then, you got Poole, and I can't think of the brother that came in for Simpson because he hardly ever plays, but he wears the pink shoes just like Muhammad. But he played a lot because Xavier was in foul trouble, so he played a lot in the last game, and he did pretty well. He was actually like Mr. Basketball in Georgia or something like that. And now he's in Michigan.
Speaking,
so like I said, man, they go. Almost everybody plays.
You think they're going? Do you think they're going 11 deep?
Not tonight. They probably won't.
I think they're going to tighten up that. I think they're going to tighten up the rotation, maybe 8 or 9.
I mean, but even if you go with the starting 5 plus Teskey will for sure play. Poole will play. The backup point guard. And for some reason, his name is escaping me right now. I want to say Simpson, but Xavier Simpson starts, and then and Duncan. And Duncan Robinson's for sure going to play. That's already 9.
Yeah,
you see.
I think it's going to be 9 deep. And I think speaking of swag, like Matthews got that. I think also Poole has a lot of swag. The freshman from Michigan, he does. He has, he's got a lot of good confidence in himself. He's confident in what he does.
He can drive the bucket. If those guys don't stop our dribble drive, when I say I mean Michigan. They are going to be in some trouble. And if we can start to dribble, drive, and then kick it, they're really going to be in trouble. I think what was happening before is I'm not sure why the guards couldn't see, but those guys were still open on the corners. And a lot of times, the guy standing in the corner waving his hands like, throw it to me, and nobody can get to him. Luckily, we're athletic enough to get to the hole, to get to the rim and finish. But I tell you, man, I'm not sure if anybody they got enough guys to guard all our guys.
I think it's going to be tit for tat. I think they do. I think Villanova does. I think it's going to be tit for tat. I think it's even Steve. I'm just saying. I'm breaking down both teams. I mean, I know I'm for the underdog. Everybody that I've read,
speaking of underdog,
everybody I've read as Villanova winning. We're gonna give my prediction, which is a tease. I'll give my prediction before the show's over.
Here's what's happening, man. They're giving Michigan 7. This morning they were giving.
It was 7.
I didn't check.
Now it was stretched to 8.
Is it already stretched to 8?
It's stretched to 8
today. Hey, by the way, we didn't talk about the road to the finals for Michigan. They went through. It was a little less spectacular.
Go ahead and give it to me.
All right, so it was Montana, which I've never been. The state I've never been to.
The Grizzlies, the Big Sky Conference.
It was Houston, which we hit a last-second buzzer beater.
Poole hit that.
Right. And then Texas A&M, which is more formidable.
You guys rolled over them.
FSU, which is more formidable.
Yeah.
I mean, they really should have been there.
Yeah.
And then Loyola Chicago. Now, you think about it, we did not play anybody over a 5th seed.
Exactly.
We didn't play anybody over a 5th seed, and we're only a 3rd seed. So a lot of these teams though were knocking out bigger schools.
They were knocking them out. I mean,
Texas. And then of course we ended up with the Cinderella of them all. You know what I'm saying? So Michigan, what we had to do is we had to show Sister Jean the difference between heaven and hell.
Come on now.
Go blue.
So, even Sister Jean knew. She said she had Loyola knocked out before they got to the Sweet 16. She said, I don't care if my brackets are busted. Just keep winning. But like I said, it's going to be a great ball game. I mean, Villanova, Michigan, you got 1 versus 3. Michigan knows they're the underdog. They haven't won a title since 1989. Back with Ramil Robinson and
they hit free throws going down the stretch.
Do you remember who they played? Michigan back in 1989.
In 1989,
who did the Wolverines play?
Oh wow!
They're now in the Big East.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. If it's escaping you, I got it for you.
It is escaping me.
It's like me, the pirate. The Seton Hall pirate.
Seton Hall. Seton Hall. Because Carlissimo was a coach.
Yeah, P.J. Carlissimo was a coach. You had Glenn Robinson, Maril Robinson, and you had the coach
Terry Mills.
Terry Mills.
Yeah,
right.
man. Yeah, that was my squad.
So 89, and will it almost be 30 years? So will they cut the Nets down tonight since 89? I think so.
You said almost 30 years.
Almost 30 years since.
Wow.
Since
we're not even going to talk about what I was doing in 1989.
I was in college. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're older than I am. I was not in college. I was close.
I was in college. It was like my 3rd or 5 years in college.
I was close.
And that was played in the Kingdom in Seattle, which they no longer have the Kingdom.
Have that, yeah. Here's what's weird. So Michigan went back again in 91. Was it 91 and 92? We went back.
With the Fab Five. Yeah.
Which they've erased.
Exactly.
And then we went back again in 13. So.
In 13.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like when we get here, we get to this game, man. We won one, then we had the timeout, then we got blown out. the next year, we got absolutely blown out. And then, and then in 13, it was. I'm trying to remember who even won that. Was that?
I think Louisville won it.
Was it Louisville? It was Louisville.
They
were. That's after a boy broke his leg, wasn't it? So they were.
After Ware broke his leg.
So they were like on a mission.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I think Michigan they have a really good shot tonight if they do the main thing, keep Villanova in front of them. The number one thing that Beeline will put up on the chalkboard is defend the three. Defend the three. When they defend the three, then it's going to be a really, really good game. And Villanova will have to go inside. You want to give up. If you're Michigan, you want to give up 2s but no 3s. That's exactly what you want to give up. And it's easier said than done, but you got to contain Brunson because he's smart with the ball. He may not be athletic, but he can get to where he needs to go. So whoever draws that assignment has to keep Brunson in front of him, has to be out there on Spillman, has to make sure DiVincenzo don't come off the bench and get hot. So Michigan has a tough task. I think they're up to the task. They have an inspiration as well on their team with Austin Hatch, all the stuff he's went through as a Michigan, a player that Michigan has on the end of the bench. So they got an inspiration as well. Besides, when they play Loyola with Sister Jean. So they got a lot of stuff in their favor. So I'm sure Austin
talking about Austin Hatch?
Austin Hatch, yes, sir. And that's what I'm saying. That's Michigan's spiritual lift up right there because Michigan as a team been through themselves last year as well when their plane hit the side of the fence about to take off. So they got a lot of stuff to be thankful for. So they're gonna play like the underdog and they're gonna come out aggressive. And they're going to come out strong. And Villanova's the key again, that Villanova, wants to play fast, wants to shoot a lot of 3s, but Michigan needs to keep Villanova in front of them and give them 2s, but don't give them any 3s. Try to limit the 3s. I'm not saying you're going to shut them down on 3s, but limit the 3-point accuracy of shooting of the Wildcats. And if you do that, you got a good chance of being successful at the end of the night. And you got to contain, like I said, 3 people. Michigan got to contain Spillman. He's got to contain the AP Player of the Year, Brunson, and they got to contain DiVincenzo coming off the bench because he's that spark plug. He's that spark plug. He's a streaky shooter, but. I think it's just going to be a well of a ball game. I have no dog in the fight, but I'm going for the underdog because, of course, my 2 teams were knocked out early in the tournament. So, by the way, how did your brackets look after the first weekend? Mine was just shattered. Completely shattered. Did you have Virginia going very far?
I did. I had Virginia going quite a distance. I had Arizona going quite a distance. My underdog was not low. Well, I had Loyola going to the game before the Sweet 16, so I had them winning 2, which they did. So that did pretty
2,
good.
Or did you have them going to the Sweet 16?
I had them going to the Sweet 16. Yeah,
okay,
and
good.
Then,
I did not.
I did. I had one
so,
16. And then
overall, has this tournament been a great tournament? Has it been a wild tournament? Has it been
upside? It was a horrible tournament. As a matter of fact,
because it didn't hold chalk. It wasn't really chalk.
Yeah, from what I saw, only 2.2% of the country has this Final Four. Now, I will say that...
But there are no perfect brackets.
Zero perfect
I was going to say.
Zero perfect brackets.
So Jimmy Buffett can rest on that $1 million
not
again.
Jimmy Buffett, but Warren.
Warren Buffett can rest on that $1 million.
He don't give his $1 million to anybody.
I mean, you put that out there knowing that...
That's kind of fun, though, because, typically bosses don't want you messing with the brackets while you're at work. Well, he's encouraging. As a matter of fact, he's like, "Look, I don't care what y'all doing tomorrow," and they probably not getting nowhere.
There's no production. The first Thursday or Friday, you can shut it down. And if the coach wants to fire you, I mean, if your boss wants to fire you, that means you weren't any good anyway.
Well, you gotta say Buffett, the owner of the company told us to play this game, right? Because then nobody.
Well, then if you get fired, then you're gonna go to ask Warren Buffett, "Hey, I need a loan."
Right, it's your fault. I got fired from the guy. Well,
you're not.
I don't think you could. There's just nobody doing any work.
Nobody's the first 2 days. Nobody's doing any production. People's checking out by noon, or
if they're there,
they call in and have a cough.
Right,
I'm sick. I got a sore throat.
It sounds like Buffalo Wild Wings somebody ordering wings behind you. No, it's a commercial.
It's a commercial, yeah.
That's
but it's. I'm telling you.
Speaking of that, what do you think the biggest food seller is like during is it wings? Is it
you talking about tonight or overall in the tournament?
In the whole month.
Man, I think it's been BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings is huge. Wings it's almost just like the Super Bowl is wings, but the March Madness BW3s has been packed. I just get wings to go because I don't go in there and sit down because you can't find a seat. B-Dubs is packed. They were packed the first 4 days of the tournament: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I know some guys are like they've been doing it for 20 years. Like where they don't go to work on that Friday.
No, I mean
they sleep in and they meet each other.
They meet each other at noon.
And they hang out, the rest of the day.
I mean, because they always say, here's another thing they always do. There's a commercial that runs on the radio all the time. If you want to get snipped, here's a good time to go ahead and get snipped and get it.
Are you trying to say that
vasectomies is up during that time because
is it really?
Yes, because you can sit on some peas and you can watch football for 72 hours. It takes
watch basketball.
I said watch basketball because that commercial runs every year. This is a good time to watch basketball. Go on to get.
They want you to get your. Oh man!
Yeah,
I guess you do have to put some frozen peas on.
Frozen peas. You're right. So so that's up to every year. I'm sure.
So are you saying vasectomies are on the rise?
During March Madness, vasectomies are on the rise.
You know what? That's funny.
Because you can get that done. You can watch basketball weekend long. That's a good excuse, as I say, to sit on the couch.
But you could have a swim team like an IPS swim team where your sperm work, but none of them are winning the state championship. You know what I mean? Like if a public school had a swim team, one dude might make it to state.
But all in all, they're not swimming.
No, he's the one that got the floaties on.
They're not going to connect.
He's got floaties on trying to swim.
Right, they're not going to connect.
No, he's not doing that.
So, what can you give me a number? What Michigan has to score in order for them to have a good chance of winning this game? I mean, what should the game be in the 60s or should the game be in the 80s? Can Michigan stay with Villanova if the game? So you're saying if the games are you're saying if the game is in the 80s, then Michigan has some problems.
You know what you saw. What you saw against Loyola in Michigan is that Loyola ran out of gas. They were playing with them good in the first half, and then the second half, Loyola just didn't have enough horses.
That's what I'm going to say, because how are you going to say they ran out of gas and they had a whole week to prepare?
They didn't have enough horses.
That's what I wanted to hear, because
there's a fast-paced game, and I mean you play ball before, and it's the difference between playing basketball against a kid that plays basketball in high school, a kid that plays recreational basketball, and a kid that plays college basketball.
Right.
That kid that plays college basketball is on your nerves.
Right.
Because he's playing so hard defense. He seems like he never gets tired, that kind of thing. So, Michigan has enough platoon to guys are getting rest.
Right.
Mo is resting.
Flowing them in and out every 4 or 5 minutes.
Simpson is resting. And so those guys are in your face the entire time. Whereas Loyola only went about 7 deep. Yeah. They only went about 7 deep. And those guys, those guys, Custer and some of those other guys, man, they were really good, but they just ran out of gas. That's all.
Who's going to have to stay out of foul trouble for the Wolverines?
Of course, Simpson and
Wagner.
Simpson and Wagner. Yeah, I mean, those would be the main two.
You don't think Rockman, if he gets in foul trouble, that's not going to hamper the Wolverines?
If Rockman does. Yeah, but I mean, we
you got Matthews and
we got Matthews
and you got Poole and you got Poole
and we got Poole. Livers is kind of taller, and then we'll just bring.
So we'll
bring Duncan in,
right.
Get longer and stretch the defense out.
Exactly. So, but you think foul trouble, Wagner and Simpson has to stay out of foul trouble?
Oh yeah, for sure. And Simpson, I like how Simpson plays because he always going to have 3 fouls, and I like guy. If I'm your coach, and you out there playing, and you come out and you have no fouls in the game.
That means you haven't been aggressive. You haven't been aggressive.
You weren't playing hard. You should at least have
1 or 2 fouls. And Michigan needs to definitely play defense without fouling. And here's what the players are going to have to do. They're going to have to adapt to the officiating. They're going to have to adapt to it. Whether and then they got to settle in because once the officials may call it one way in the first half and a different way in the second half. So it's up to the players to adapt to how the officiating is going to be happening during this game. Because I would like to see, like every other team would like to see, the officiating to be the officials just to be invisible. Just let the guys play.
Let them play.
Let them play. I mean, now you think if you let them play, Villanova come from the Big East, Michigan from the Big Ten. So the more physical conference to me, I think, is the Big Ten.
Hey, speaking of that real quick, I think it's a travesty that Syracuse is not in the Big East still.
Yeah, the landscape of basketball is just out of control. Pretty soon,
you got Creighton. I see Creighton in the Big East or something like that.
Right, and see, Butler to me needs to be in the Big Ten, not in the Big East, but. I mean, you essentially got.
I would take Notre Dame over Butler.
Yeah, Notre Dame should be in the Big Ten. They're not. They should not be in the ACC.
Right.
No, I mean, and then I don't like how Notre Dame getting off a little bit. Their football program, they halfway in and halfway. Like, well, the ACC is part of my girlfriend, and they're not my girlfriend. So they got, they're playing like about, they got about 5 games we'll do with the ACC. Then the rest of our schedule, we're independent. Well, okay, which one are you going to be? Are you going to be all in, or you're not going to be?
But they play. Well, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Are they going to be in or all the way?
No, you said they're going to be all in, not all in.
Right,
That's
exactly.
Because the world revolves around the blue, man.
Around the fighting. I'm talking about Notre Dame.
You said all in. That's what the Wolverines say.
Is that what their T-shirts say? All in.
All in.
All in. Like I said, the landscape of sports these days. Pretty soon, there's going to be 4 super conferences, 4 of them, and I don't know, be the Pac-12, the ACC, the SEC, and the Big Ten. So pretty soon, you're going to have almost I know there's 351 Division I men's basketball programs, but the Power 5 might be the Super 4. Probably in the next 5 or 10 years because
which one's going away?
I think the Big 12 is going away. I think the Big 12 because they were the Big 8. Then I think the Big 12 is going away. It's gonna. I mean, you're gonna have the SEC.
So are we gonna add more teams to the Big Ten?
Yeah. You're gonna have like your Kansas. They're gonna be a part of the Big Ten.
No, they won't.
But the Big 12 is gonna go away. It's gonna go away. I mean, you're still gonna have your little. Mid-major conferences, but the Power 5 is going to change, going to evolve into the Super 4. That's what they're going to Mega 4. It's going to be a Mega 4 conference. So the Big 12, I predict, will be gone in about 5 or 10 years from now. So
hey, folks, man, you listen to the heavy. You're not listening to heavy.
Listen to the book report.
You listen to the book report
featuring Moose. Featuring Moose. This is not the heavy. This is a sports show.
Go.
Hey, folks, you listen to the book report featuring Moose, and we talking sports. We're previewing. We're previewing the championship game of tonight's game. I know we don't talk a lot about Michigan, some a little bit about Villanova, but the Moose is ready. He's in his maize and blue. He's all in.
What stations are we on? I am all in. Good job.
We're on Spreaker.com. We're on Sticker. We're on Apple Pod.
What the world? You got Blackmouth. We're on Stitcher. Spreaker and Stitcher.
We're on YouTube. We're on iTunes.
Yeah, for sure.
We're all over the world.
Yeah, check us out.
So check us out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get comfortable, just come on in.
No, we're not doing it. We don't do that.
Matter
of fact, you owe us $50 for doing it. Trademark infringement.
You guys are trademarked that. Okay.
I'll tell you what, folks. We're gonna take a quick little, like a 2-second pause, and then we'll be right back.
Oh, it's getting close. How much? We don't did about 30.
It's that house, motherfucker. It's that house in this bitch. It's that house, motherfucker, for the cute ass chicks. It's that house, motherfucker. Yo, we trying to get rich. If you got a fucking problem, then address that shit.
Look, first off, don't you say my fucking name. If you got a fucking problem, then we coming for your brains, nigga. Blast off all that shit that you be saying, bitch. I'm smoking like a hippie, but my niggas really crazy. Hold up, wait a minute, give me 50 feet or something. I'm not really up for talking. You can keep it subject, this, that. Throw a book upside the head of teachers, but it damn, I hate we gotta kill these niggas who had taught us something. Kumbaya, these nuts. Kumbaya, what's up? You family nothing. Talking hell
And we are back. What up, though?
What is going on? This is the book report featuring Moose. We got a few more minutes here. We're gonna we're previewing the championship game of between the Wolverines of Michigan and the Wildcats of Villanova, and we're gonna do some predictions in this little segment here, and then we're gonna let you know who's gonna win and what the score is gonna be, and who's gonna be. Here's a question for you: who's gonna be the most outstanding player?
Prop
the
bets.
MOP.
We doing prop bets?
Prop bets.
Prop
I'm
bets.
going Abdul Rahman for Michigan because he did not play worth 50 cents against Loyola.
Do you think in the Trump era they're going to let somebody named Muhammad Ali Abdul Rauf
fake news.
Rahman
Fake news.
be the
Fake award. Fake award.
He could score 100 tonight, and they'd be like, Mo Wagner.
If he's gonna ball out, he's
He only
gonna
had
ball
2
out.
points.
But that's what I'm saying. He knows he's got to play well.
Right.
And then for Villanova, you're gonna the AP Player of the Year would probably be Brunson or Spillman. So they got 2.
Did Brunson's dad play in the
Yeah,
NBA?
he did. He did.
What's their first name again?
You got Jalen Brunson and Mark Brunson. It was Mark Brunson.
Mark Brunson.
He played at Temple.
Okay.
Yes, he played at Temple.
Now he was in the NBA.
He wasn't in. He had as they say, he had a cup of coffee. He played for about 2 or 3 years. He's out. Now his son may have a 8 to 10 year because I was hearing somewhere he's just like a Mark Jackson. He can get. He's not really athletic, but he's smart. He can get to where he needs to get to. So it's like I said, it's gonna be a fun game. I'm looking forward to this game tonight. I mean, even though like I said, I don't have any of my teams in, but I am going for the underdogs because it's Michigan against the world. And when you have Michigan, when you have a team against the world, they got a big chip on their shoulder, and Michigan's they got to come in strong. And they said, I think I saw reports that the coach of the Wolverine football team, Jimmy Harbaugh's there. Jim Harbaugh might give him a little speech, but no, you don't need Jim Harbaugh in the locker room, man. I think Beeline can handle it. And Beeline did the exact same thing that I do with my team. As you notice, he's the coach, right? If you've been picking up on Michigan, what do they have? They have the coach, then they have a defensive coordinator. You know that because they replaced one of their defense coordinator, but they have a coach that strictly works on the defense, and Beeline lets this coach strictly do defense. Beeline has really nothing to do with the defense, but I'm sure Beeline signs off on it. Like I would sign off on it because you got a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator. So I think that was the first time I ever heard of that Beeline does not do anything with the defense. He hired a defensive specialist. And that's why I think Michigan has gotten really, really good because you have a coach specifically working with these guys on defense.
Yeah, I mean, no, and I'm not even sure what his name is.
His name escapes me. So, okay. but I'm just saying that's just something interesting that maybe some other coaches in the future are going to go with that. Have a defensive coordinator. I think it's not really nothing new because when Larry Bird was coaching in the NBA, he was just a coach. He had a defense and an offensive guy, and he just signed off on stuff.
Well, of course, it's not new because. Tex Winters, remember for your Bulls.
Yes.
He was just offense. He didn't do anything with defense.
Right, that's right. And then they had all that stuff. So, but it's carrying over now to the college level, where I think, like I said, this is the first time I heard of it, because I don't know what North Carolina has. I don't know what Butler has. But when I heard Beeline hired a defensive specialty coach, because he said, hey, you take my guys and work on defense one day. And that's pretty much, sometimes that's all they work on. Take off the rims and just say, just rebound, block out and all that stuff. I mean, they do a bunch of stuff like that.
I saw somewhere where they said, like, the first couple of days when they first get together, it's all about thumb placement when you're making a two-hand chest pass. And, when you're making a bounce pass, where do your thumbs go to make a crisp pass? That kind of stuff. Because then Matthews was like, where am I? Because, Calipari's not doing nothing like that at
Kentucky. No.
He's throwing the ball out there and he's like, hey, I'll see y'all in 2 hours.
He's rolling the ball on out there.
Right. I'll see y'all in 2 hours.
I'll see you in 2 hours. Just
because I never seen a more lazy practice session than when the Elite Eight was here, and it was the four teams were here were Michigan, Louisville. Matter of fact, it was the year. It was the Final Four. Yeah, the Final Four was here
in 2015.
It was Michigan, Louisville, Kentucky,
Wisconsin,
Tennessee.
Tennessee. No, Wisconsin was in the front.
This year I'm talking about Tennessee.
Okay.
Julius Randle. Randle was still playing at Kentucky.
Right.
He was like the guy at Kentucky, and he couldn't even stretch fully. Like he had one of those little yoga helpers, to stretch all the way and then play a full game. I'm like, man, come on, man.
And here's another piece of information for you. Tonight's game with both teams, each team have a veteran team. There's no one and dones that are playing in tonight's game. Keep that in mind. All these guys are juniors or seniors or sophomores or whatever they are. I mean, you got a couple freshmen, but Poole's not going to be a one and done player, no. Or any freshman on Villanova. So all these guys have a veteran team. There's no Bagley, there's no anybody on. There's no one and dones playing in this
right.
national. So you wonder if there's is there any because there's NBA scouts there all the time. The only thing I've heard that they're looking at is Mo Wagner.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson's a senior too.
Well, but he's not going to play in the NBA. So just
you don't think so?
No, he's not playing in the NBA now. Mo Wagner will probably play in the NBA, and that's about it.
Down, man.
Yeah,
you can't answer that.
No, Mo Wagner, they're not. It's not happening. So, but yeah, just keep that in mind. You got a veteran ball club on both teams, but going where we're going now is prediction time, pretty close.
Okay.
And I'm thinking the key thing, Villanova's favored by 8, but it's not going to be an 8-point game. It's going to be back and forth.
I think it's going to be a 5-point game.
I think it's going to be a 3-point game.
Okay.
And and it's going to come down to the last 3 minutes of that last TV timeout. It's going to come down to the last 3 minutes of the game.
When I'm fighting them not to go to sleep.
And you just going to have to stay up wide awake, or you can be kept up, I'm sure.
I'm going to have to sit on the stool.
Okay. Well, that's a TMI, a lot of information we don't need to know.
I'm not going to be just dropping the stool.
Sitting on the stool. You're going to sit on the stool like Beeline sits on the stool with the high rate. Oh, another key part, before we talk about the predictions, is, both teams are used to it by now, but you don't know. They still could be tight. What do you think about them playing in a big dome as opposed to the college campus? Because the depth perception, they're used to it. They're used to it. Me, I don't think I'd be used to it by now.
Yeah, the worst part about that is that I talk about that a lot because they get a small practice, where they're going to play, but typically they go somewhere else in practice.
Right.
And so they're not able to get they're not able to get a many shots up. Like
right.
I know when some of the teams come here to practice, then they go like to Butler.
Butler, yeah.
To practice on their court. Well, that's like playing in the high school gym.
Exactly. Yeah.
From the way the corners are made.
Right.
And so the depth perception is way different.
Way different. But I think both teams are used to that. I think it was going to come down to, and here's a stat. Here's a little quote I'm going to leave you with. Victory favors the team that makes the fewest mistakes. Remember that. Victory favors the team that makes the fewest mistakes. And I think Michigan will make the fewest mistakes tonight and cut down the nets, and Beeline will get his first NCAA championship.
And his 800th win.
Oh, he's going for number 800. Okay, that's a little
799
nugget.
right
So I'm thinking the score, and you can book it.
Oh,
The score
folks,
will be.
What'd you say?
You can book it
like
from with the book report. The score will be 82 to 79. Right. The Wolverines. Do you have a prediction, Moose?
So, of course, man. I can't even goof around. I think that Nova will fight very hard, but not valiantly. I think that Nova will play together as a group, but not all in. I think that Nova does wear a little bit of blue, but they're not gold blue. And I really feel like if Nova, there's a possibility they can win the game, but they will not be the victors of the game. So if you listen to my subliminal messages throughout this whole what I'm saying here, what I'm saying is the boys in blue, the boys in maize will take the game. I think it's a little bit closer. I'm saying 65-60. It's a defensive struggle, but the maize and blue will be hail. It'll be hail to the victors. It won't be hailing from the sky. It'll be hailing from the three-point line. It'll be hailing from the bench. They'll be hustling all over the place. And at the end of the game, all like I said, all we'll say, and I put it all together for you, is hail to the victors valiant.
This has been the book report.
Go Blue.
Featuring Moose. And we will see you next time with the book report.
Book it! Can I say that?
Yeah.
Right on, man. Good show, bro.
Yeah. I use that little girlfriend analogy.